In Parashat Toldot, there is in Pasuk Lamed Gimel, there is the scene when, after Yaakov Avinu gives, Yitzchak gives Yaakov the bracha, and he eats, and so on and so forth, comes Esav, and he makes also delights for him. Vayavi le'aviv, vayomer le'aviv, yakum avi, he didn't say na, yakum avi, vayochal mitzet beno, and so on and so forth. Vayomer lo Yitzchak, and Yitzchak said to him, Mi ata? Who are you? Vayomer ani bincha bechorcha Esav. I'm your son, Esav. Then the pasuk says, Vayichrad Yitzchak charada gedola ad me'od, vayomer mi eifo hu atzad tzayid, and so on. Vayichrad Yitzchak charada gedola. Charada is fear, tremble. Let's look at Rashi. Rashi says, "Vayichrad charada ketirgumo." Lashon Timiyah, he was wondering. He said, "Who is this? What is this?" Then there's another Rashi. He brings Midrasho, right? Ra'a gehinom ptucha mitachtav. He saw the gates of hell open underneath him. The question is, of course, underneath who? Underneath who? And what's the story? What's going on here? I mean, Yitzchak is not that out of reality. Who is the hell under? So you could say he saw under himself. But if you look at Ikar Siftei Chachamim, he saw under Esav. He saw the gates of hell open under Esav himself. In other words, the experience that happened there is through prophecy. It's not, he was just like this, walking in the dark. He didn't know who he was. He knew exactly what he was doing. He knew exactly what he was doing. What Yitzchak tried to do, he knew who his son was. He knew who his son was. And yet, he wants to give him a bracha. Well, what does it say to us here in terms of Rashi? He was wondering, and then another one, he saw gates of hell opening. Why isn't Rashi say one or the other? Make up your mind, one or the other. Why does it need to bring me the other midrash also? There's a similar case to it we read a few weeks ago in Parashat Vayera, when Avraham Avinu sits at the tent and he sees the three malachim and three men, and he ran towards them, mipetach ha'oel, vayishtachu arza, vayomer Adonai, imna matzati chen be'einecha, al na ta'avor me'al avdecha. Who is he talking to? Is he talking to here? Who is he talking to? Apparently to the malachim. So let's look 1 second at the punctuation at the word Adonai here. The difference would be that later on we will have the same name, but it's going to be, the difference will be that we're going to have, instead of a kamatz under the nun, we're going to have a patach under the nun. So first of all, I'm going to say something, There is a, let's see in what deep water I'm going to get myself into now. But nevertheless, there is a rule in grammar that the sound of the tnu'ah ktana, small movement, is similar, but just smaller, to that tnu'ah gedola. the name later on that it refers to as a secular name, right, is with a patach on the bottom, and that's Adonai, Nai. With the kamatz, which is a tnuah gedola, the patach is a tnuah ktana, the kamatz is a tnuah gedola. It's not like our dear brethren, the Ashkenazi, when they say Adonai with an O, but rather tnuah gedola. Instead of it's Adonai, tnuah ruka. That's the difference. In a way, it serves. And Rashi, by the way, in Masechet Makot, I think in the Vav Zayin, when he talks about Yesh Em La Mikra, when he talks about Nashal or Nishel, Rashi says Nashal with a kamatz, v'hagayato, and the way to pronounce it, ke aleph or hey. In other words, Rashi spoke or pronounced, at the time of Rashi, they pronounce the kamatz like a aleph, hey, open, not o, closed. That's the difference. There is a difference between kamatz and patach. But one is the other one is So if we're going to say Shem Hashem, it's going to be Amonai, long one, Nai, long. No Amonoi. Okay? Here, so who is he talking to, Avraham Avinu? According to the rules that we have, whenever kamatz is going to be Shem Hashem. And when it's going to be a patach, it's going to be secular, like my master. So we don't know who is he talking to here. He's talking to Hashem, or is he talking to the people here? It seems like he's talking to the people. So let's look at Rashi. Rashi says the following. Vayomer Adonai imna. Rashi says lagadol shebayim amar, to the greater one. And it says, Vekaram kulam adonim, he called them all Sir, Mr., Lord. Velagadol amar al na ta'avo, please don't pass by. And it says, so therefore, according to this part of Rashi, we are talking about the people. But then we have a little problem. Then we have davar acher, another explanation. קודם הוא היה אומר לקדוש ברוך הוא להמתין לו עד שירוץ. In other words, he was saying, הקדוש ברוך הוא, אל נא יעבור השם נא מלפניי. Just wait a minute, I have guests coming. Just time out, 1 minute. Why does Rashi, Rashi, listen, do me a favor, Habibi. You make it, there's a big difference here. Who is he talking to? There's a huge nafkamina here. He's talking to the people, he's talking to this. What's the answer? The rule is like this. When Rashi brings two leshonot, they're both correct. Because the beginning, it says, Vayalav Hashem be'elonei mamre v'hu yoshev petach ha'oel, and so on and so forth. He was engaged in a dialogue, in a prophetic dialogue with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When the people came, he was talking to them and to HaKadosh Baruch Hu at one time. That's the ma'ala, that's the advantage of a prophet. He's talking to both of them. Of course, he gave us a hint how Sfaradim pronounced it a little better, but nevertheless, he was talking to both of them. Here too, in our parasha, in Parashat Toledot, both of them, he was wondering. And yet, he saw Gehenom Ptucha. What he was wondering about? What was the problem? Again, Yitzchak knew exactly who his son was. His son is a tragic figure, the misunderstood child. Of course, if Avraham Avinu was the kiruv person, it was outreaching everybody, Yitzchak was the educator. Yitzchak, of course, gave us a lesson in education. Regardless of how difficult your child, you always try to help him. Don't force him, You try to do something that he did. And what do you do? He said, listen, I know my son is bad, but there is a spark in him. There is a core inside of him that he is good. Something good about him. After all, I know who I am. I know who my parents are. I know who his mother was. So what should I do? I should force him? No. I should try to direct him to a positive path. And what would it be? I'll give him a bracha. By the bracha that I will give him, will help him change. He'll get this extra support and we'll fix him. It's the same thing like we tell a child. If a child does something, I don't know, mischievous, or does something, you tell the kid, you're a bad boy. You don't tell the kid, you are a bad boy. Since you told him you are a bad boy, you now classify this child as being bad. And bad boys do bad things. You put them into this category. You need to be able to separate the action from the person. You could tell them, I can't believe that such a good boy like you did something so bad. Separate the person from the action. You, like this, give him also a way to what we call save face, to help him out a little bit. Everybody likes the good old kids, the goody kids. The kid who plays piano and he's a champion, and he scores A's and everything, and he's a good boy. Yes, mom. Yes, pops. The goody kid. The teacher says, yes, ma'am. And nobody wants to deal. And that's the problem why our education stinks. We don't care about the kids who are so-called classified. What we want to ship them out. They'll send them to, out of district placement, as they say. Put them in some kind of a juvenile delinquent, place. Who wants them anyway? We want the top. We want the Ivy League. We want those. Who said, first of all, that they are the best? Sometimes, the misfits, so-called, are the one with the greater potential. And we just don't want to deal with them. We push them away. I'm sure there were plenty of people that had a 4.5 average and Harvard and Yale and so on and so forth. I'm sure. And yet they didn't even contribute. I'm not even talking about the money. They didn't contribute as much as, let's say, Stephen Jobs, who didn't finish college. It's those people who don't fit. The system is not geared to that. Here comes Yitzchak Avinu and says, don't throw those kids away. I know you have a tendency to have a sardine can syndrome, You have people in different sizes, you have different fish, different size fish, but they all have to fit my mold. So you chop the legs, you chop the head, you put them into the can, you close them up, and they're ready to serve. There's some big fish out there, they don't fit. And if you're going to cut the head and cut the tail, you're going to mutilize them. You're going to push them away from society. So here comes Yitzchak Avinu, and he knows that that's Esav. What do you think? He doesn't know it's Esav. Of course he knows it's Esav. He doesn't know, he's not aware of the prophecy that Rivka, we always refer to as Yaakov stole the thing. Yeah, they didn't steal anything. That's anti-Semitic. Rivka had a prophecy. She knew she was a higher prophet, or HaKadosh Baruch Hu chose to reveal to her something that he did not reveal to Yitzchak. For whatever reason it is. Let's not get into this now. So Yitzchak is trying not to give up on his child. And maybe this whole ordeal is just to teach us a lesson. I always said, give me all the guys that nobody wants, and I'll take them, no strings attached. And sometimes it wouldn't happen because it will make everybody else look bad. But give me all these guys. You don't want this kid? Send him to me. I'll take him. Not a problem. There's no such thing as a kid not able to connect with Torah, or a kid not able to connect with Gemara. It's just impossible. He never experienced Torah or Gemara in a certain way that would fit fits him. He never tasted the good taste of it. It's like a person would say, I remember one time my cousin said, oh, eggplants, I don't touch eggplants. I hate eggplants. So my mother said to him, I never tasted it. I don't even want to think about eggplants. I said, okay, not a problem. So she made what we call burriquitas. Burriquitas are like empanadas, they're like little delights like this. And she made something, we give it the name chandrajo. Chandrajo is basically a rag. I don't know how this thing got the name of it, but it's just kind of a mixture of like eggplants with all kind of stuff like this. It's really good with tomatoes. They put it in stuff. We call it chandrajo. Why? Don't know. So she made it for him, and he came and, he eats it. He says, ooh, Doda, what is this? He says, chandrajo. Oh, chandrajo, what's egg stuff? He says, I've never tasted anything like that. It's amazing. So after he finished it, he said to him, that's eggplants. What? That's eggplants? That's exactly it. You never tasted it. You're coming predetermined. You're missing out. So Yitzchak Avinu says, listen, Rabotai, this is we are going to have inside of you misfit kids. And some of it's tragic. Everybody likes to hate Esav. Yes. I know the story with this. But maybe we could have done something. How many little Esavs like this we have? Those kids who don't fit our mainstream. The kids who have like a really free spirit. They need to explore things their own way. Yes, the system is not geared for that. That's why we are here. That's why you are here. To embrace them. They're part of us. Yitzchak doesn't see this horrible monster. Yes, he knows his child is doing things that he shouldn't be doing. He sees that. He's not blind. But he knows also there's a good core inside, so he wants to give him a baracha to change him. When he says Vayichat Charada, I was wondering, what's going on here? How is this possible? Why? Because he saw hell open underneath him. Vayichat Charada, it's two things. Vayichat, it could be one thing. Why Vayichat Charada? Because he was wondering what is going on here. In other words, my bracha is not going to be able to fix. This kid is doomed. He says it's impossible. You could be mashpia. HaKadosh Baruch Hu shows him and says, that's not going to work. Not with this kid. Not this time. But regardless of that, Yitzchak does not give up. So okay, I'll give you a bracha also. But I give you a bracha, and how I'm going to... He doesn't give up on him. And he says, your bracha will be determined on your brother. He will go down, you'll go up. He'll go up, you'll go down. That's going to be the way it is. In other words, you're going to always be connected. He still does not give up. Because a father cannot give up his son. As I said to you yesterday, Yitzchak is the most, if I could say it like this, okay, I wouldn't say unappreciated, but uncelebrity of all the patriarchs. But is a tremendous example. And again, I think many times we disregard Yitzchak because the message that he carries with us is very not flashy. Avraham is the guy who goes, with PR and does the whole entire thing. Yaakov, all his children are example of perfect, and he's Yaakov. The Shvatim came from him. But then again, Yitzchak is the one who's holding the whole thing, the two edges together. He's holding them. Yitzchak is the balance. Yitzchak is our hope. Why? When the Shvatim did what they did with Dinah, Yaakov blasted at them. But yet, all of his kids were perfect. Each and every one of his kids was a perfect. They were great. So if you would present a difficult case to Yaakov says, how is this impossible? The father is a righteous man, the mother is a righteous woman. How can you have, it's impossible to have such an offshoot kid. You will tell this to Avraham Avinu? Avraham Avinu, his wife told him, listen, you have a kid there is bad, so take him out, throw him out. Not a problem. I cannot afford this with me. Yitzchak Avinu is the one who's trying to change it. At the time, Chazal tells us, at the time when a person is going to be sentenced up, no other than Yitzchak Avinu is going to come. He's going to say to HaKadosh Baruch Hu, no, באמת. Let's look at it this way. Im begvurot 70 shana. Okay, let's say a person lives 70, 80 years. Half of the years, let's say until 20, en onshim min hashamayim. So what do we have? Let's say 80 plus 20, minus 20, how much is that? 60. Out of the 60 years, half of it, he does sleeping. So how much we left? 30 years. 30 years, Poma said of Shawa, let's split it half and half between you and me. Right? And that's it. Why? What's the idea behind, in other words, Yitzchak Avinu comes to be milamet zchut on us, on Am Yisrael. Why? Because Yitzchak Avinu had these two kids, and he had one difficult child, and he was not willing to give up. Avraham Avinu said, what? This kid? Out? Right away out. Israel, Yaakov, the same thing. Yitzchak Avinu is the one. So La'atid Lavo, when there is a limud zchut, even though Yitzchak Avinu is gvurot, Abraham is chesed, but still he comes to our chesed with the gvura. He's not afraid to take it out. Why? Because he experienced that. That's the lesson that we should have. We should have more compassion to those who don't find their place among us. And most of the time they don't find the place among us because of us, not because of them. There is a place for everybody. There's room for every Jew. Kol Yisrael yesh lahem chelek la'olam haba. Every Jew has a part. Yes, we need to put them on the right path. We can't cut corners because you're not doing any chesed to the child when you cut corners with him. But you need to line up the playing field, that he would know where he's allowed to play. It's a broad horizon, from sea to shining sea, and everything else in between. We should embrace them, teach them, never push anybody away. And that's the same thing that we do here. You want to learn? Sit down and learn. I don't care where you learned before. And that's why I learned from my rabbi. We don't care where you learned before, what you did before, who'd you learn by, who was your father, who was your mother, and you want to learn, what does it make a difference? Right now, you want to learn, good. Sit down and learn, and let's go from here on. That's what I got from my rabbanim. That's what I got from my teachers. The love for every Jew. Of course, if there is a guy who drills a hole into the boat, and once everybody's sinking, that's something else. Sometimes you gotta do it because for the danger. But not everybody's digging holes like this. Some people are just curious. Most of the people are good. There is a good core that each and every one of us holds the spark of Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov in him. Each and every one of us has the spark of Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah inside of us. All the Jews are like that. And that's something for us to remember. Here comes Yitzchak, and it teaches a tremendous lesson. Don't give up on your child. It's your test. That's the way for you to deal with. So we should be more compassionate and more willing to help. And Shabbat Shalom to all.